So this is episode 3. If you haven't watched episode 2 and 1, you should go do that. You really should go do that. We are in the D section. Now, the first one is actually a Hallmark television film. And this DVD apparently is very difficult to get a hold of. The Dark Night of the Scarecrow. 1981 is when this came out on Hallmark, and it's actually, it's not shit, but it's not glorious. It's not mediocre. It's like the concept, I think, is good. It could have been a lot more violent and bloody, which would have made it better, because this is for TV, so everything's toned really down low. And it's also the 80s, so people are very no on violence, so you can't show anything. I mean, as you can see, he's holding a pitchfork, so in it, obviously, somebody gets stabbed with a pitchfork. But you see the thrust, and then you see the guy, and then it cuts to a picture of the pitchfork impaled on him. You know, it's 80s, it's 81, and it's a Hallmark movie. But for that, it's good. You just remember that this was a TV film, and it was intended on a family-friendly station, on a family-friendly television station. That's actually a good movie. Now, this particular film, it's another one of those films that, like, how the hell is this horror? Oh, actually, good. Put that one away. Like, I don't really get how you can call that horror. A guy driving around in a car, doing, they're racing, trying to smash into people. That's not horror to me. There's nothing horror about that. It's a car movie. When you really get down to it, it's a guy driving a car that he apparently is deathproof because he flips it numerous times throughout his life and he's never died in it. And he goes after other people in muscle cars and races them and then gets them to crash. It's not a horror film, but it's listed as one, so it's in here. It's like what I said about Creature of Black Lagoon from last episode. The next one is also not really horror. I like to put it in its own subgenre of gothic entertainment. Bram Stoker's Dracula. There's many versions of the Dracula tale, and according to the actual analysis of the Angry Video Game Nerd, this is the closest one to the actual book, because it's something that Count Dracula walks around in London in the daytime in that movie. Every other depiction of Dracula shows him being incredibly weak to the sunlight that he'll burn, and that vampires aren't supposed to be in the sun. That's not even in the book, apparently. I suggest you go watch the video that Angry Video Game Nerd made on it. He breaks down he breaks down what the book lists as certain things, and what that film versus Universal Studios Dracula. And then there's the Hammerstone. The Hammer Films horror version of Dracula from England. Breaks it all down. And there's a BBC version of Dracula anyway. But that's another one of those films from the 90s that I was like, it has a place in its heart. That no matter what you say, it's still a good movie, because it's something from my childhood. Then the next one. Put that away. Don't be afraid of the dark. it doesn't start off slow, it's more of a moderate pace, and then it picks up towards the end. And the acting is really good in it, which is not, it's like not very common for a horror film for them to have good acting. Well, there's good acting in it. And I think the part that I like the most about it is that the fairies, which are in here, are not fairies like Disney. Fairies in mythologies were evil spirits. They stole things, you know. And so in that film, the fairies were evil, and it was a good plot for it. Because we're told, we've been, you know, because of Disney, we think fairies are good, and then there's a fairy trying to kill people. Well, a group of fairies are trying to kill people. So it plays on that childhood, the childish notion that we hold in us that they're good, and it turns out they're all jackasses. Oh, look at that. Got to another level. So the last thing, Deathwatch. This is one of those subgenres, it falls in a subgenre called military horror. It takes place during World War I, and an English brigade go over a hill and they find a trench that they believe the Germans own. They shoot a couple of the Germans in there, but they keep one alive, and that German winds up escaping and running through the maze, and then they find out that the trench isn't a trench. You know, there's a section goes this way, and then there's an intersection, and it turns out that this intersection goes down here, comes loops back, and it's a giant maze, and then there's tunnels, and it turns out that Death lived in that trench. Death built it, and that's what they're fighting against. Anyone that goes into this trench automatically is going to get killed off by Death. It's a good movie. So that's it for this episode, and don't worry, in the next one I will have a different t-shirt on. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Links to the description for Patreon, Instagram, and Twitter. Like I said, thank you for watching. Goodbye.